Good day, everybody. It's Rod with Pow Group. We're going to get started here in about 30 seconds. We'll just give it a half a minute or so for people to jump on. I see we have some people rolling in. Welcome, welcome. We're going to get started here in about 20 seconds. Got Justin in the house. Jam, how you doing? Blazing Bird in the house, how you doing? You got Gary, afternoon, evening, wherever you're tuning in from, everybody. We got Nikki as well. Justin, how are you doing, bro? Doing well, thank you. It was a crazy day today, a bit of a weird day. I guess it's a typical Monday, but yeah, everything's going great. Everything went well with your mom's B-Day. Yeah, absolutely, it did. Yeah, I wish I could have been there in PEI. She's still on the East Coast. I'm in the West Coast now. So thank you for asking, though. Yeah, she's doing great. She had a great birthday and lots of love shared for sure. So, all right, we'll jump right to it. We just had the Tilray investor presentation, a new one that just came out, and I wanted to do an update on the $1 target. I mentioned on my last video that we could see that. So again, I mentioned in the Power private community yesterday as well. I think it was Jeremy said, hey, what are we expecting for this week? And I said, probably going to see more downside with the bloodbath that we saw on crypto and MJ on Friday selling off. And then the S&P 500 was weak. And with all the crypto, well, I try not to. I realized in my news video that I said a name that I shouldn't have. But anyway, a guy who owned an island and a lot of controversy about people that went and visited that island. There was some news out that he basically helped co-fund a digital currency that's the number one in market cap. So that was very, very bad, and that sent the market plummeting. And you have to think that that's going to send like names like MicroStrategy down, so that's going to hurt the broader market, right? It's going to hurt sentiment. So I expected more downside, and we had a bear flag on Tilray and a lot of other names. So we were more than likely going to see more downside, and that's exactly what we got. But I would expect some time this week, more than likely, toward the end of the week, if not next week, we should start to see a relief rally, whether it's a dead cat bounce. That will remains to be seen. But yeah, we'll expect a little bit more weakness until things start to really recover in a big way. Like we need to see at least a 10-20% bounce. If you're talking about the S&P 500, if we see a 5 to 10% bounce, I think that'll be a good indication that the temporary bottom is in for now. But it's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, everybody. It's Monday, November 17th. I hope you had a great weekend. Like I said, we're going to take a look at the chart for TLRY, and we're going to take a look at the new presentation. It literally just came out, so I haven't even got a chance to look at it yet. So we'll look at it together. And as always, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. You can subscribe, tick the bell. You'll be notified on any future videos. And full disclosure, I do own Tilray. It's my largest portfolio holding. And also, I'll be interviewing Anthony Martinelli tomorrow. So let me know if you guys have any questions, guys and gals. If you have any questions for Anthony Martinelli, the MJ Herald. He's the founder. I've already interviewed him once. But maybe at the end as well, if you guys are open to it, let me know, guys and gals, if you want to just spend a few minutes on that near the end, and I can kind of go through what I have so far. But again, we'll discuss that toward the end. And follow us over on X as well, formerly Twitter. The handle for that is @GroupPow. There was this guy, speaking of which, let me just bring it up here real quick. I deleted the post, but I put it in the Pow Group private community. It was Jake Miller CFA at EDARIRAMULU on X. So Jake Miller CFA, take the time and go block this person, because an absolute moron. Posted something about the DA or news about the DEA, and anyways, no source, and I can't stand when people do that. And then yeah, one person commented and said this was old news from like a year or something ago. So anyway, take the time out of your day to go block that person so you never have to deal with that nonsense ever again. Man, I can't stand when people post fake news. Well, not fake news, recycled news, and then don't have a source. Like, go fly a kite. Oh my God, that just makes my blood boil. But as I mentioned, I'll be interviewing Anthony Martinelli tomorrow, the founder of MJ Herald. And if anybody has any questions, like I said, let me know, and we'll maybe go over some questions with regards to that interview at the end of this video. People are open to that. Just I don't have a whole lot of time. I got to go pick my daughter up soon from daycare, but we'll get through as much as we can. And then I'll be interviewing for a third time Hugo Alves, CEO of Auxly, on Wednesday. And then, just as a reminder, the Black Friday sale is live now, so there'll be links for this in the description of this video. You can get 25% off the VIP, which is a yearly access to the POW Group private community, and the Algo Alerts. You can bundle it together, so you can check that out if you're interested. This was the video that I posted November 13th, and I said 113 USD target reached, is $1 next. And then in that video, I show, I think it was near the end. Let me just see if I can pull it up here. Yeah, it was right there. So you can see here, like 99 cents. I think I might have adjusted. Oh, you know what probably happened? It probably didn't have log scale on. That's probably what happened. So it's like a mind of its own trading view recently. Just I have that. Sometimes it'll go months without that changing, and then just randomly one day it'll go back to linear scale instead of log. But I also mentioned that we weren't daily oversold, that we could head there, and you can see that this target here is basically bang on. So we hit that 101 target that I was talking about. And yeah, I get a lot of people saying, oh, the stock's going down because you made it go down. You said it was going down, and therefore you're the reason why. You probably shorted it. It's like, okay, then. You think I can control what direction Tilray price goes? Okay. I have a igloo in the Sahara Desert that's just waiting for you to buy. It's $500,000. Send me, what do you want to do? Cash, check, crypto? Send her this way. But yeah, that again, I want Tilray to go to $100. I want it to go to a moon yesterday, just like anybody else. I'm just as big of a Tilray holder as anybody else, and I would love to see the price go up. But unfortunately, you want to come here for the truth and what I perceive to be the truth and the most, conclude the most likely scenario and the conclusion at the end of the day, right? I don't have a crystal ball, but this is all about probabilities and just looking at the chart and getting an unbiased view of it. So that's what you try to do, is you look at the chart and, just look at a chart as if you don't own it, right? And then try to get to the most logical conclusion and see what the chart is telling you. When 8 out of 10 indicators, patterns, signals are all saying the same thing, well, why are you going to be bullish when 8 out of 10 indicators, patterns, and signals are saying it's bearish, right? You're going to be bearish. If 8 out of 10 or 10 out of 10 of the signals that we follow and patterns and indicators are all bullish, then we're going to be bullish, right? Simple as that. So here was the press release that just came out. Tilray Brands publishes new investor presentation highlighting leadership across beverage, MJ, and wellness industry, showcasing its global growth strategy and transformation into a diversified CPG powerhouse shaping the future of consumer products. So we'll bring up the presentation here in a second, but let's go through, see if there's anything here. Today announced the release of its updated investor presentation, outlining the company's strategic growth roadmap, category diversification, and financial performance milestones. Highlights the evolution of pioneering MJ company to a diversified global CPG partner. I'm just going to skim this. Like I said, I honestly didn't even read it. I was going to come on here and do a video anyway, and I was like, oh, I might as well do a live stream, and I want to make it as quick as possible because I still got to get ready for these interviews and pick my daughter up from daycare here pretty soon. So, yeah, we don't really say too many. Strategic vision. I'm sure all this will be hashed out in the presentation anyway. Operational excellence, global expansion, strengthening market position across North America, Europe, and emerging international regions. Okay, cool. So then they have the link there. So then you can just go, or you just go to the website, click on news and events, and then events and presentations, and we'll go through it here. Yeah, look at all those brands. Wild. All right, let's go through. Oh, I didn't even read what was on that first page. Investing in the future, Tilray Brands at the forefront of innovation in beverages, MJ, and wellness. You've got your disclaimer. You've got your executive team. Global leadership team with extensive CPG experience. Yes, you got Carl Merton at KPMG. Obviously, Hain Celestial for Mr. Irwin Simon. Whole Earth Brands. You've got Denise Faltacek as well. Oh, she worked at Hain Celestial. I didn't know that. So she's head of international, I believe. And MDC Partners, don't know that one. Ernst & Young, I believe EY is, which is cool. Big company. Bacardi, all know that one. Hain Celestial, Kraft. Oh, it's the Hain Celestial crew. Breckenridge Distillery there. You got Baron Nurata. Johnny Walker, and Diesel. Nice. I didn't know that. Cool. You got Coca-Cola, Prince Pinaket, and that's pretty much it. Tilray Brands is leading as a transformative force at the nexus of MJ beverage, wellness, and entertainment, elevating lives through moments of connection. Yeah, so best brands in the industry, in my opinion. What else do we got here? Beverages, MJ, our leadership team, diversified portfolio. So yeah, they separated into beverages, wellness, and MJ. So you got your drinks, your adult use, and your medical. You get your food, your Manitoba Harvest, your Humble Seed, fresh hemp foods. Some of these brands I didn't even know they had, to be honest. Fizzy Jane's, Liquid Love, Happy Flower. But yeah, and then all the beverage brands as well. All right, so yeah, I'll skim through this a little bit quicker now, but everybody can check it out on their own time. I just wanted to come on and skim it briefly, and I'll definitely be looking into it more in detail a little bit later on. But yeah, obviously they have the Highball as well. They've got their CC Pharma distribution business. Number one leading MJ company in Canada by revenue. It seems like everybody says that. You know, it's like, it's kind of funny. But yeah, I don't think there's any question. Like, when it's all said and done, Tilray's going to be the leader, folks. Like, it for sure is. It's just, there's so many Tilray products in stores when you go in there. Like, Oxley's getting big too. Organigram's pretty up there. But yeah, Tilray's just there's not even a close second, in my opinion. Fourth largest craft beer brewer in the United States, 5-year-old company. Global medical MJ leader, 20 countries served. Wellness powerhouse, 60% market share in North America's branded hemp foods and snacks category. Diversified growth engine. Strategic acquirer, proven brand builder. Operational excellence. Unlock $200 million in cost savings through efficiencies gained in MJ and beverage infrastructure integration. What do we got here? Multiple growth platforms. Beverage, $279 billion. Total addressable market. Yeah. So you get $400 billion plus. Beverage, $279. MJ, $110 billion. Wellness, $31 billion. So we're going after here, folks. And then all these MJ kind of components are going to be able to be later adjacencies, right, and infused with beverage and wellness. You already see the hemp in there. Leverage brands. Maintain strong. Cool. Beverages. Oh, that's a pretty slide. All right. First mover innovation in MJ beverages. Absolutely. The number one. And there's not even a close second for beverages. Oh, my God. Oh, they're like... Oh, they're the best thing ever. Like, as soon as I'm done with this video, I'm going to get Tilray beverages for sure. Okay, and the Oilers play at 5, which is an early day today, Mountain Time. Alternative beverages, $50 billion. Beverage alcohol, $180 billion. Non-alcohol, $37 billion. Water, $12 billion. So they have like functioning waters and Highball. They got 18 brew pubs and restaurants. 750 plus distributors. You know, like, what is it what's so attractive to Tilray, about Tilray? You know, like, why do people like Tilray? It's like, so funny when you hear these experts in the industry being like, I don't even understand why people are so hyped up about Tilray. It's like, okay, does your brain function? Or do you have a brain? Oh, it's so funny. They also have their Mach 1, right, which is super cool. But yeah, 8 networked production facilities. This is just in the U.S. Our national platform is powered by regional brands. So yeah, they got the whole right from central to west to east. Number 1 craft supplier. Bourbon supplier. Number 2 craft supplier. Wow. Official craft beer partner of the Florida Gators. Official craft beer of the Oregon Ducks. And there should be something here about the Broncos as well. Official craft beer partner of Atlanta United FC. Official craft beer partner of Portland Timbers. Broncos, there it is. Official bourbon and vodka of the Denver Broncos. But guys, there's nothing here. There's no value at all. The end. It's so funny. Anytime if you ever hear a person claim to know anything about MJ industry and they say that Tilray brands, they can't understand the investment thesis or if it has value, just never listen to another word out of their mouth again. That's my recommendation. Oh my God, I can't wait to try this too. The Twisted Pretzel Wheat Shock Top. Oh, I'm just friggin' yearning for the day they bring some of these brands into Canada. They have the shock top. It's just I've never seen that one. So MJ, everybody's favorite. We got, Redican, obviously the best brand in MJ. There's not even a second close in my opinion. Space Age cake flour. It's like literally the next best thing since sliced bread. You got to try it out. Leader in international medical, MJ markets 20 plus countries served. Leader in Canada's total MJ market, adult use and medical, well positioned to enter and win in the US MJ market upon federal legalization. Whatever the hell that ends up being. Friggin' US. Don't know their whatever from, I don't want to swear, but man, just an absolute dumpster fire the government is in the US. And not one left or right or blue, purple, red, I don't care. The whole government should just be fired and start over in the US as far as I'm concerned. Our advantage, leadership across Canada, portfolio build, consumer, scalable infrastructure and operational excellence, proven innovation pipeline, medical MJ, 320 million, 340 million total addressable. All right, let's go through a little bit quicker here. So international MJ, first mover, global leadership, EU, GMP, Europe, Australia, Latin America. You've got pharmaceutical grade medical expertise. 100 billion total addressable. Wow. How many freaking slides on this thing? I think there's 40 and we're on 24. Okay, I'm going to have to go a little quicker here. 750 million person market. Okay, we believe Germany's recent MJ regulations will serve as a catalyst to drive positive change in drug policy across Europe. Absolutely. Canadian operational produces 210 metric tons per year. Their facilities, you got Nanaimo, BC, Gatineau, Quebec, Redican in Cayuga, Ontario, Fenwick, Ontario, Leamington, you got a 301 Diamond, and London, you got the cultivation and beverage manufacturing. So you got Portugal, medical, Redican, Good Supply, Navcora, and then Tilray Craft in Germany. European operational highlights production capacity of 37 metric tons per year. I bet you most companies can't even do 37 metric tons per year in Canada or the US, let alone just in Europe. No value though, guys. Just shut this video down and don't ever look at Tilray again. There's no value at all. Complete imbeciles. All right, let's go. Physician-led medical MJ, patient-led medical MJ. Medical distribution, so that's your CC Pharma. 7 billion in Europe, total addressable market. Access to 13,000 pharmacies and major wholesalers in Germany through CC Pharma, utilizing capabilities to accelerate growth in international MJ, parallel importation of European pharmaceuticals. CC Pharma was founded in 1999. Is today one of the leading drug importers in Germany. Business model serves economically responsible suppliers of medicines. Committed for over 25 years. We got Tilray leverages CC Pharma's existing distribution network in Germany as a pathway for medical MJ distribution. CC Pharma facilitates the importation of the manufacturer. So it's a one-stop shop, right? It's the Amazon of MJ, really, and beverage and CPG, right? It's like the Ripple's the Amazon of crypto, and Ripple's going to be the biggest company in the world. It's already, I think, the biggest private company in the world. XRP is going to be the biggest digital asset in the world, and then Tilray is going to be the biggest MJ company in the world. It's so obvious. And they're getting into crypto now. So they're just a leader in all fronts, and then everybody's like, oh, why aren't they selling all these hemp drinks in 50 states or 25 states, whatever it is. Organogram said they were going to start selling Collective Project into 25 different states, and then it comes out with a hemp ban. So, it's like, I'm pretty sure Tilray knows a little bit about stuff, us little retail investors are, it's just funny. All these retail investors are like, oh, how does Tilray not know how to run a business? And it's like, okay, well, did you see that coming? Tilray did. Tilray didn't want to expand too quickly. So it seems to me, and they're not affected by US tariffs. So it seems to me that Tilray's got it going on. Like everybody else doesn't even know, like I said, know how to spell their name, and Tilray's like spelling their name backwards with a blindfold on. Like, it's like they're the leader, like hands down. Yeah, winning customers: Amazon, Whole Foods, Safeway, Walmart, Costco, Kroger, Publix. You got strong brands: Highball, Happy Flower, Humble Seed, Manitoba Harvest. Financials: And those are starting to improve big time as well. 830 million fiscal 2025 revenue, 55 million adjusted EBITDA. You got 62 to 72 million adjusted EBITDA guidance. Breakdown by business group: 31% MJ, 33% Tilray Pharma, 29%. Oh, well, I thought they were just a beverage alcohol company. Okay, you moron. It says right here. And you forgot the other three categories. Canada, 26%. United States, 33% of revenue. 39% in Europe. Holy shite. Australia. Okay, now picture an MSO, and you got like this little part of the US. That's it. Or unless it's Curaleaf, and then it's like. But yeah, because they're a Canadian operator. They're bought Northern Green Canada. They operate in Europe. They operate in the US. Obviously, they have the biggest footprint in the US. But yeah, everybody else is just like, oh, we got a little piece of couple states here. Yeah, we're the best. No, you're not. You're not even close. You're so far behind, it's not even funny. And your government isn't helping you any either. So, record Q1 revenue, 210 revenue. Anyways, we've all seen, 265 cash. Net income, they had positive 1.5. So they're turning a page there. They're paying down their debt. And net debt to EBITDA, 0.07x. All right. So yeah, here's all their financial statements, balance sheet. All right. Voila. All right. Let me know what you thought of that. What are we at? 21 minutes. That wasn't too bad. All right, so we'll take a look at the chart here. So yeah, we're getting close to daily oversold. I would expect a pretty strong oversold relief rally at some point, like I said, later this week into next week. And that's also lining up with the S&P 500 as well. The S&P 500 was pretty weak today. We could still see an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross. Why are we talking about SPY? I thought this was a Tilray video. Well, in case you don't know, most of the names follow the broader market, right? So if the S&P 500 is down, it's going to be called headwinds. So if we take a look at this chart, it still says we could head to daily oversold and EMA 12 and 26 bear cross. What does that tell you? Well, that tells you that Tilray could probably head to daily oversold. And because SPY is not even close to that and Tilray is, by the time SPY gets to oversold, if it gets there, Tilray is probably going to be heavily oversold in the daily time frame. So if SPY was close to daily oversold now, then we would kind of expect an imminent bounce. But and it's not a guarantee either. It's just, again, it's looking at the most likely scenario. And yeah, it's pretty weak at the moment. So if we bring up TLRY here, daily time frame, we had that bear flag. So you just take your measured move here from the high of that bounce to the low of this dump, and then you just take your measure move there from the high to the low, and it's saying it was 103 and we hit 101 today. So once we lost the low there at 121, that confirmed it, and then here was a bit of a fake out and bear trap, and then again rejected right at the 0.32, and then there we go, got the follow through. And we had support right there at 103 before as well, and 101. So it's essentially a triple bottom right now. So yeah, we could see, like I said, maybe a little bit more downside. We do have, I mentioned this as well, we had the bearish triple thunder crossover when the price loses the 10-week moving average, when the stochastic and the MACD on the weekly cross bearish, when all three of these happen simultaneously, you get an algo alert and the PAL algo alert service. And you can see here tons of downside ensued. On the flip side, on the bullish crossover, when the price gets above the 10-week, the MACD and the stochastic cross bullish, that's a bullish triple thunder crossover. That's a term that I coined and added to the POW group POW algo alerts. So that signal went off on like the first week of July, and price was at around 50 cents, and then it went all the way up to 232. Then we had the bearish triple thunder went off on the last week of October, and we went from about 133 down to 101, and we're still not done yet. So where could we potentially bottom out? Well, we have the 50 weekly there at 90 cents, and we have the 200-day moving average at 85 cents. So I would wager a bet that it's somewhere around that area that we're probably, and like I said, SPY's still not daily oversold, Tilray still not daily oversold. Look at the sector today. Continue to bleed out. You got MSOX, Class F, and ABCN. Yeah, those were down over double digits. MSOX down 7%. So on average, most names down around 5% today. And not really a a close end in sight. So, like I said, most likely scenario, we're probably heading down to around 90 cents, 85 cents. But is it really that big of a deal? We were just at 30 cents not too long ago, folks. I would say it's like people were talking about this to me about XRP today, and the crypto space was pretty beaten down. It's like people are like losing their mind over $2.16 XRP. I'm like, my average is 40 cents. I'm still loving this. You know, like it's a little different for me though, because like it's kind of the opposite with Tilray. My average is like 130, I think, the last time I checked. So I'm actually back in the red now, slightly. But I own way more XRP than I do Tilray right now. But once I look to take profits over crypto over the coming months, I'm going to be rotating a lot of profits into more beaten down MJ, and you bet I'll be adding Tilray. And a lot of people are saying, why aren't you rotating your crypto into MJ? This is why. This is exactly why. It's because I can see the future, and you should listen to everything I say. No, just kidding. Not financial advice, of course. You'll have a little fun with it. All right. What else do we got? That's pretty much it. What else? Do a little bit more analysis here. Honestly, it was just such a crazy day today. I had barely any time to do anything. This could be a massive weekly head and shoulders, and an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross there. So again, no news is bad news. If we don't get rescheduling, we're just going to fade. And that's what I've been saying. Or better. Unless we get rescheduling announcement, they're moving ahead with Schedule 3 or better. Something better. Right? I don't know. Safer banking passes, or, well, that wasn't going to happen because the freaking government was shut down. Now the government shut down. And that was something else I mentioned as well. I said another reason why I was expecting more downside on Tilray in the sector in the broader market is because of this right here. Man, I posted a lot of videos. Where was it? The hell was it? Couldn't have been that long ago, was it? Right here. Watch before tomorrow. Spot ETF, sell the news. So I said, watch, sell the news event in this XRP video. I said, XRP ETFs launching and the government shutdown ending. It's going to be a sell the news because everybody thinks it's going to be bullish. Oh, the government's opening back up. That's bullish. XRP ETFs launching. But it was only one ETF at like 20, and it was a very small firm, even though it had XRP inflows beat BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF. Okay? And then you still have these assholes and Bitcoin maxis who were like, oh, XRP, the shitcoin. And it's like, okay. IQ of -7. But yeah, I said, that's exactly what happened. Government opened up, XRP ETF went live, sell the news on both fronts. So what does that tell you with broader market? S&P 500, MJ sector, probably going to be a sell the news as well with the government shutdown. So, again, if you're not looking at if you're only tunnel vision into Tilray, you're not getting the whole picture, right? You're not getting the bigger picture of the sector. You're not getting the bigger picture of the broader market and the business cycle, etc. So, yeah, it's not looking great. I would expect a little bit more downside. And one thing I wanted to mention as well is that we're starting monthly consolidation. Consolidation just means we're losing the low of the previous candle, so therefore we're consolidating, and it's on the monthly, therefore it's monthly consolidation. If this was the weekly chart, it'd be weekly consolidation. And I even mentioned in that video that we were talking in the Pow Group private community, could this be a monthly bear flag, or bull flag rather? And I said I just don't see that happening. I don't see that being the most likely scenario because we're not in a monthly uptrend yet. We're still in a monthly downtrend, and it's a bullish continuation pattern. So if you're in a downtrend, bullish continuation patterns aren't as believable. And here we are losing the 0.32 fib, and we closed near the low. So yeah, it's I said I didn't think that was going to happen as the most likely scenario, and that's exactly what we're getting. But with that being said, we have a ton of room. We could pull back from here, from the low of this month, another 65% and still just be a higher low compared to that low at 35 cents. So really all we're looking for is just this low, high, higher low, and higher high. If we get the higher low and then the higher high here, then it's a monthly uptrend confirmed. And I will say beyond a shadow of a doubt that we're probably heading back to $5 and not too in a pretty hurry, in a jiffy. So, but you know, that's a long way down on the monthly time frame. So again, if you don't need to be a chart expert to know, right? If you look at a monthly chart, right, and you go from 35 cents all the way to 232 and you're still in a monthly downtrend and there's no support all the way down, how do we know that this is support? Because each candle was a higher low. So once you start consolidation, there's no support all the way down here, right? if it would have been okay, so let's just say we peaked here and then we started consolidation. We formed a higher low and a higher high, and we formed another higher low and another high, and we just ebbed and flowed. Well, then you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4 points of support, right? Whereas now you only have one. Well, not even that, because that's not even support. We're consolidating now. This is your only support, right? So if you look at this chart and you say, hey, I don't know that much about charting, but I know enough to know that this is very bad because there's no support nearby. So if we start monthly consolidation and we had this bearish reversal, huge upper wick, closing near the low, not a great sign. So yeah, not looking too hot. All right, so let me know what you think of the presentation, if there's any questions. What time is it? 4:11. Yeah, I got to get going here in about 20 minutes, I think. Or we can go through some of the questions with Anthony Martinelli, the founder of the MJ Herald. I'll just kind of go through real quickly here what I'm looking at asking, some of the general topics. I won't go over every single question. So yeah, obviously we're going to talk about the hemp ban. So what sort of implications would happen to companies who didn't adhere to the new, like let's say that 365 days passes, the grace period, and companies keep doing it. What are the ramifications of that? I would assume that Canadian companies would lose their NASDAQ listing, but I don't know, because like some states it's legal, like MJ's legal. Right, not just hemp. So I mean, can they only do it in states that's legal? I don't know. Like, I can't stand the government and regulations, the way that this piecemeal nonsense. It's like, did you know in Canada for 7 years now, going on 8 years, almost we're over 7 years, we just had this profound idea. Okay, and don't fall off your chair because this might sound crazy. Hemp and MJ are regulated the same. Imagine that. One plant, same regulations. Mind blown. And then also, with crypto, we had this profound and just, epiphany came to our regulators that we say, you know what? How about we treat crypto like stocks? And if there's a capital gain, you pay the tax on it. And it's just like, the U.S. is like, what? What's going on? But they're not dumb. It's because they're trying to protect the incumbents, the pharmaceuticals, the big pharmas, tobaccos, alcohols of the world, their incumbents, their constituents, their lobby friends, right? So, very frustrating. And maybe I'll just start off the interview with Anthony Martinelli, like, how crazy is this sector and how crazy is the U.S. government? Like, are you surprised at all? And then, just let him roll with it, I guess. Yeah, and I had a question about that DEA thing today with that stupid dude, Miller CFA Jake guy. I'm not even going to ask that. I'm just going to remove that. Blocked him, and I'll never have to see his nonsense ever again. So yeah, I'm going to ask him a few things about legalization and rescheduling updates, obviously. So maybe we can get an update on states set for potential reform at the state level. Maybe hear if he had heard any rumblings with regards to rescheduling or anything like that. Can you provide a brief overview of the a lot of these questions aren't mine too. There were some from the community. Like a question around Florida legalization. What else do we got here? Just overall thoughts and opinions on the new hemp ban. Whether thinks that's good or bad for broader rescheduling. Like, are they going to work? Is Congress going to work on actual sensible legislation, not just closing a loophole? Let me just see here. Yeah, so hemp ban and industry impacts. Yeah, like lawsuits is another thing. We can mention maybe something about lawsuits. Lawsuits from hemp ban. What else do we got here? Yeah, he was on the Matt Gaetz show as well, so maybe we could talk about that. Just, his thoughts and opinions on where we're heading in terms of clinical trials. And there's a lot of news out about like positive developments with regards to Alzheimer's. Not a cure, but certainly helping with symptoms and whatnot, and the slowing the process of, I guess. There's like epilepsy, stress, anxiety, sleep, PTSD, chronic pain, depression, multiple sclerosis, inflation, cancer symptoms, autism. There were some studies out about that as well. Let me just see if there's anything else. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, like how would it impact the sector as well? Like the hemp sector. Yeah, if anybody has any questions, let me know. I had a question like, where does he get his news from? I think he answered that in the first interview. What misconceptions about MJ does he see most often in the media? Somebody asked that question. That's a pretty good one. Will we eventually see interstate commerce in MJ products? I think so. It's going to be treated like alcohol. I mean, it should be. One's medicine, one's poison. What role could public education campaigns play? Yeah. Okay, so most of it's just going to be talking about how messed up the United States is. God. It's pretty ridiculous, not going to lie. If you can get past the stupidity and the frustration and the borderline anger, it is kind of entertaining. Oh, jeez. Okay, so gotta hurry it up here. Let's go team. Already go through those. Shit show. Yeah, that's basically what the market has been. Afternoon, Gary. Team Tilray, you bet. If we hold $1, are we still active on that 290 bull flag, or is it out the window now? Great question. I haven't looked at that in a bit. No, we're still holding it. That's one thing I hate about charting is you're on the lower level time frames and you zoom out to the higher level ones, and it's just like, my God, so many lines and stuff. It's like chicken scratch. Yeah, we're right on the 0.382 fib still. And like sometimes you'll see it lower wick down and then bear trap. So realistically, I'm not too worried about this weekly candle as long as we wick back above that 0.382 fib. Or if we come down here to the 0.618 and down 81 cents, well then, I don't care about any wick or no wick. I would say we're probably just going to tighten up, and you're going to see, a type of equilibrium, right? Where you would just come down and probably bounce around like that. But yeah, if we hold this, did I just delete that by accident? Yeah, I did. So yeah, this would, it's still holding. We're right at that 0.32 fib. So, and we already confirmed the weekly bull flag. And technically we're still in a weekly uptrend because we're holding that support so far on the weekly at 103. I mean, we hit 101, but not the biggest deal in the world. And then, yeah, staying around 290. There you go. But like, we need to go now. So everybody get ready to hit the buy button tomorrow. And then that was another thing too, right? We were weekly overbought. We're near monthly overbought. Look how quick some of these names went from monthly oversold to overbought. Oxley was monthly oversold in February of 2024 and hit monthly overbought in August of this year. Another one is VFF. I just posted a video on that one. And let me bring it up here. That one's a darling of the space right now. It's by far the leader. Where was it? Did I talk about? I'll just search it. Next target, $7. And I did a review of their earnings right here. Major bullish chart signals flashing. This is 5 days ago. So if we bring up VFF, monthly oversold, now it's overbought. And we could start to see some rotation within the sector out of VFF, in my opinion. But look at the daily time frame. So it's the exact opposite of like Tilray, right? You're seeing bullish continuation patterns in a daily bull flag, whereas Tilray was a daily bear flag. Does that mean that VFF is a better investment? No. Right? Price is irrelevant. Yeah, we have another weekly bull flag saying $7. This ascending triangle and the daily bull flag. So daily bull flag saying 463, ascending triangle saying 445, and weekly bull flag is 716. Why do I say that? Because all boats rise, right? So it's eventually, when in doubt, zoom out. They'll all start to look the same given enough time. Whether it's 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year from now, they'll all catch up, and then there'll be rotation within the sector, right? And I've been saying for many, many months, if not years at this point, once crypto tops out, I truly believe it's going to be a 2018 moment where when Canada legalized and crypto peaked, crypto's bull market ended in 2018. And then like in January, February, I think it was, in the new year. And then MJ went on the biggest bull run of history. And then now we're seeing the same thing where MJ's been in a brutal 5-year bear market and crypto's been on a 5-year raging bull market. So I think something very similar is going to happen. Why? Because it's the same demographic, same type of investor. And, these market makers are super greedy SOBs, right? They're not going to want both of them running at the same time because then they're not going to be able to make as much money. So they're going to want to do this, and it just makes sense, right? And crypto legislation is going through Congress right now. They did the market structure, they did the Genius Act, stablecoin. Now they're working on the market structure, which is the Clarity Act. What you can and cannot do. It's like the Telecommunications Act in 1996 for the internet. This is the Internet of Value. That was the Internet of Information. Capiche? Got it? Got it? Good. Perfect. So now they'll pivot over to MJ. MJ is like a couple $100 billion market, total addressable market. You know what crypto is? It's 5 trillion. You know where crypto's going? 100 trillion. You know where MJ's going? It's never going to 100 trillion. So why do you think they're focusing on crypto and blockchain and AI? Because those are $100 trillion industries, right? They're going to be the biggest industries in the world. MJ will be lucky to be $1 trillion industry, 1/100th of the size. Okay. So again, as much as I love MJ and I'm passionate about MJ, this is an MJ centric channel. I'm also not a complete degenerate, right? Like I know how to evaluate a market, and MJ is not the end all be all, right? There's way more lucrative investments out there. And I would wager a guess that changing the whole financial system is way more valuable than a plant, right? A commodity, right? Like all the money in the world, we're talking quadrillions, hundreds of quadrillions, folks. It's a number you can't even fathom. Whereas MJ will never get to a number like that. It might get to $1 trillion in a decade or two, maybe. Like, if we find out it cures like all kinds of stuff, well then might change things. But yeah, this is a good sign. I think still VFF is still strong, and yeah. I mean, I bought this thing. I remember buying it at like 40 and 50 cents. I bought a lot at 50 cents. And then I bought a little bit at 40. So yeah, I can't buy any more now. So I'll just buy some of the other fire sales that are going on. But yeah, AVCN, Glass F, and MSOX leading the decline today on the bullish. You got, I'm just going to delete AWR off of here. I'll leave it on there just for fun. NEVI and VFF. But they did go through CCAA filing. CCAA filing. Okay, let's go through here. Hope all is well, everyone. You bet. Hope you're doing well, Strone. You got Jam and Rod, we trust. Thank you. I appreciate it, my man. My man. Hi. Doing great, bro. Thanks for asking, man. Snow has arrived in Montreal. Yeah, we had some snow a couple days ago. Was it a week ago now? I don't know. But it didn't last long. Gone like the next day. Oxley to the moon, baby. Yeah, super bullish on them. Got an interview on Wednesday with Hugo again, so looking forward to that. Whoops. Got lucky and sold my trading shares at 195. Still holding my core Tilray shares. Nice, Gary. Yeah, you can rebuy a lot cheaper now. Brian from Muncie, Team Tilray. Awesome. Welcome, Brian. Think we bought him now? Yeah, so I think I answered that question. I think a little bit more downside first. You got to remember, too, if they dip below $1, what do you think is going to happen? Oh, they're going to do a reverse split again. Right? They're going to bring up that FUD. No. It ain't going to happen. I mean, they might do a reverse split, but I don't think they'll be absolutely forced to. Look at last time. They regained compliance in no time and didn't even have to get an extension. VFF, right? They got 2 warnings. NASDAQ warnings. 2. Tilray only got 1. Canopy is looking to do a second reverse split. Aurora has already done 2 reverse splits. Right? High Tide did a reverse split. I think OGI did one too, didn't it? Canara Biotech did a reverse split. Yeah, OGI did a reverse split. So is that every single major company has done a reverse split? People don't know this, right? Because they had their head so far up there, you know what? They don't even know. And then you got the high tide crew saying, "Oh, but we're not like the rest." And it's like, okay, you've already done a friggin' reverse split. Like, and these are the same people that would be like, "Oh, Tilray's going to bankrupt because they're doing a reverse split." It's like, you imbecile, you've already done one. And then you tell them, like, high tide didn't do a reverse split. And like, I'm looking at high tide here on the TSX. I don't see any reverse split. Oh, yeah, they did do a reverse split. It's like, oh yeah, you didn't go back from like a week ago. Can't see past their own nose sometimes. But yeah, even high tides now daily oversold. So again, more names that hit daily oversold, the more likely we're going to see that across the sector. And a great way to do that is look at the ETFs. Look at MSOS, not daily oversold but close. HMMJ, not daily oversold but close. So we're probably getting close. And HMMJ is a bear flag as well. And it just confirmed, so it's probably going to see more downside. And the measured move would be about 718, meaning from the low of Friday, you're looking at another 7.88% downside. And that would put us to around daily oversold. So if Tilray were to drop another 7%, we can use that as a gauge. Whoa, that's too much. What did I say? A lot of support around 90, 85 cents. Boom, right around 93 cents. So that could be a target. Lie. Don't know what that means. Do you think the hemp ban, the next step, is more likely Schedule 3 now? I do think that they're going to move forward with Schedule 3. That's one of the questions I had for Anthony Martinelli tomorrow, too. What's up? What's up? Yeah, I think they're just getting a clean slate, and yeah. I mean, Congress needs to do what it was supposed to do and make laws, not just, oh, we're going to regulate one part hemp and just this piecemeal nonsense. It's just the lazy way out, and it's not lazy. It's all by design, folks. They do this with every industry. Remember that? Remember that clip from Joe Rogan and Mark Andreessen when he was like, "Yeah, we were talking to the government about like starting an AI company." They're like, "Oh no." Don't even bother starting an AI company. There's going to be 2 or 3 that the government control, and they will not let anything else ever succeed. Like they said, don't even bother. This is what the government told Mark Andreessen of Andreessen Horowitz, right? So what do you think they're doing to MJ? They're doing way fucking worse. I got to be careful what I say because apparently everybody's getting banned just from saying Island Guy's name now. I agree, Alu. Tilray is the most undervalued stock in my opinion. Buy more and hold for 5 years from now. You will be laughing all the way to bank. Yeah, I agree. Stock used to be $300, and that was an IPO. That was the day one of IPO, and a lot less shares. So that's completely irrelevant. 18, I mean, in 2018. Yeah, it was the day that it IPO'd. Peter Thiel backed it. Yeah, that's irrelevant. That's just one day of trading, and then it fizzled out, and they've been issuing shares. So $300 now is not the same as it was back then. So can they still sell their drinks in the USA? They can, as far as I'm aware, as long as it's a legal state. Yeah. Pretty sure. But I don't know, because if it's federally illegal... yeah, maybe they can't. Because if it's federally illegal, they could risk their NASDAQ listing, right? Because you have to be on the NASDAQ, you have to abide by federal rules, not state rules. So I don't think they can. So you have to start thinking to yourself, folks, like all these companies. Well, the U.S. names aren't listed on U.S. major exchanges yet, so I don't think it's a huge deal. But like Organogram will be effed, I think. Now that I think about it, because they're getting into 25 states with Collective Project, and if they sacrifice their NASDAQ listing, they're not going to want to be in those 25 states anymore, and that's going to be a huge hit. So, yeah. Hopefully it doesn't go through and they pass sensible legislation and do their friggin' job. Do you think we get back to $2 without any Schedule 3 announcement? No, I really don't think so. Like I said, it has to be rescheduling to 3 or better or something else better. Unless we get those, I don't think anything's gonna happen. We could continue to bounce around sideways a little bit lower, but maybe a relief rally, oversold bounce, something like that. But I can't see us breaking to a higher high unless we get Schedule 3 or better. Yeah, I've said that for months now. Just look up the Tilray Brands video, no news is bad news. And I was saying no news referring to Schedule 3. If we don't get that or better, just going to continue to fade, and that's exactly what's happening. Even though we're still much, much higher than the bottom there, right? We're still 200% higher than the all-time low. So it's all about perspective, right? Yeah, it's like, oh my God, we're down 57%. Okay, well, just go back just a little further, and we're still up 200%. Right? And it's like, oh, okay, yeah. That's not that bad. But my emotions, those damn emotions, right? Logic, though. When we think about things logically. Okay, Total Wine in here. Fort Lauderdale sells Tilray drinks. Yeah, they sell them in like 10 states. E-commerce as well, so you can get them shipped directly to your door. I'm surprised nobody knows this. It's like, it's not like it's hidden information. And I've done so many videos on it. They will have 1 year to sell off almost said it. Psychoactive component hemp drinks or intoxicating hemp drinks. So it shouldn't be any issue with, yeah, they already said that there wouldn't be any meaningful impact. And it's not even a guarantee, right? There's a whole year grace period, so a lot could change. Maybe we get some clear rules and regulations, not just this piecemeal loophole bullshit. But yeah, Tilray will be fine. They already have the infrastructure and everything. So like, and they only were in 10 states, right? And that's why everybody was like, why aren't they getting into more? Organigram just got into the US and the hemp drinks, and they're already in 25. Well, guess what? If this ban goes through, they're in a whole heap of shit, right? And Tilray's barely even affected. They said they're not. So, yeah. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. But yeah, maybe Organigram can sell off its as well and wind things down, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Executive order, is that what that means? I'm not sure. So the hemp ban was earlier this week. Why the big drop Friday, end of day? There was that news about, I posted it. This is why you got to watch the MJ rapid fire news videos that I just posted. I do them every week on Saturday. So this one here, I discussed that in that video. But there was that news about small possession or something like that. They could still criminalize people for it or something, for small kind of MJ related offenses or something like that, undoing the Biden era. I can't remember the exact article, but I think that might have been partially it. And then the S&P 500 was weak, crypto was weak, the broader market sentiment. Also, the government shutdown ending was a sell the news again. Everybody thought it was going to be bullish, and because of the government shutdown, they said that the economic data may never be released. How sketchy is that? And then now everybody's expecting a pause instead of more rate cuts because of all this, right? So that's spooking the market. And MJ's high risk. So what do you think when risk on assets are no longer favored and it's safe haven? What do you think MJ is going to do? Well, it's the highest of the highest risk. So and that's why crypto and MJ have been selling off like crazy, is because risk on assets are not popular right now. But they want to get interest rates down to refinance the debt. The business cycle is usually a 4-year cycle. It extended to 5 years because they got a year to extend the debt, right? Remember the debt ceiling? Essentially, it's a 5-year cycle now. That puts us into about Q2 2026. So I think this bull market still got some legs to it until, probably second half of 2026. I'll be probably looking to take most of my profits in crypto in Q1. I'm not waiting for like the tippy top. Like no one knows where the top's going to be in the first place. But when we start confirming monthly downtrends on the S&P 500, I'll be out pretty much of everything except for like my core positions on like MJ, right? I'm not going to be selling any of those until I'm financially enticed to do so. Just go Tilray Brands video, Tilray exit. Just type that in my channel right here. Sell targets, exit plan. Unless those targets get hit, I'm not selling any more Tilray. If the price goes lower, I buy more Tilray. It's pretty simple, actually. Dilution doesn't help the equation. I still hold Tilray, but but long for the day profits lead to expansion instead of dilution. Yeah, well, you have to remember, Apple was selling computers in 1997 and they almost went bankrupt if it wasn't for Microsoft bailing them out with a $150 million investment. So why the fuck did Apple almost go bankrupt selling legitimate legal computers? And Tilray is selling illegal products, right? And in the U.S., and there's still Singapore will give you the death penalty just from possession, okay? It's not apples to apples here. We've got our hands tied behind our back, right? And Apple almost failed. Amazon dropped 95% in the .com. This happens all the time, right? These 95% pullbacks, and dilution is even more of a thing in the MJ space because we are federally illegal in the U.S. You got your hands tied behind your back, right? Why do you think they're focusing on Canada and the international European markets, right? Because they have clear regulation. They know what they can and cannot do. I just don't understand how people don't understand this. And it's not like Tilray is the only one who's diluted. All these companies have diluted pretty much. And the companies in the U.S. that haven't, or the companies in the U.S. that don't have a lot of debt, that aren't profitable, they only operate in 12 states, right? Tilray operates in more countries than they do states. So, like Curaleaf said, Boris Jordan, to replicate what they've done internationally in the European markets and international, if one of their peers in the U.S. were to do it, it would cost them about $400 million or $500 million, about $500 million. You know how much is on Truly's balance sheet for cash? $400 million. It would take their whole cash reserves just to replicate what Curaleaf has done. And how long would it take them to replicate that? That's called first mover advantage. That's called they're way the fuck behind, right? So, people need to get the head out of their ass, okay, folks? It's a little frustrating because I don't know how people aren't putting two and two together here. It's really obvious. You can't just say, oh, dilution, and it's your emotions speaking. You're getting mad. You're not thinking logically, right? I encourage you to stop thinking with your emotions and just think logically, and everything starts to make a lot of sense. Because they sell hemp drinks, intoxicating, and are one of the very few MJ stocks with retail investor access. Yeah, I guess, yeah. Were you responding to somebody else's comment? I'm not sure there, Sapika. But yeah. Don't really understand the second half of that question or that statement, but we all know that Tilray is amazing. The only thing that bothers me is that the stock price is not reflecting at all. Okay, again, Amazon dropped 95% in the .com bubble. What is your rebuttal to that? That's all you need to know. Things can drop 95% and still be a good investment long term. It's not super complicated to understand. Anyway, I digress. I've never seen a stock just go down like I said, Amazon did it. And if Amazon did it selling legitimate products, okay, so if Amazon went down 95% in the .com boom, selling legitimate products, what do you think should happen in a bear market for MJ stocks? It should go down way more than 95%, right? Because they're illegal products. They got their hands tied behind their back. What happened in the bear market? It went down more than 95%. Again, this is what I'm talking about. People in the MJ industry, they come in. Most people have no idea what the financial markets are about. That's why I love the crypto space, because people are so educated. People are really sophisticated and smart when it comes to money and how the financial system works. No, I'm not trying to be a dick or anything like that. I'm just saying, I'm calling a spade a spade. Most people who come into the MJ industry, they're hitting the bong all day and they don't know. They're just super passionate about MJ. And I was the same type of guy, right? I found out about Bitcoin and then I was like, oh, what's this MJ stocks are a thing now too? So I started investing in those, and I got my lunch handed. I got my lunch eaten, and my account blew up too. But I started becoming a financier, a financial student, and a student of the markets. And then I was like, holy shit, yeah, this makes sense, right? But yeah, Justin, dude, this has happened to every single industry, right? Netflix just in 2021 dropped 80% in 6 months. 80% Netflix in 6 months in 2021. Let that sink in. Hopefully those days are numbered. It's probably not. There's probably going to be a lot more 80 to 90% pullbacks, just like Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin had many, many, many big pullbacks. Now, if it drops 10, 20%, it's the end of the world. Amazon would never drop 95%. Now it'd be Armageddon. An asteroid would have to hit the Earth, and the Earth would just be a ball of flames. That's the only way Amazon would drop 95% today, right? Folks, like the video. Thanks, Justin. I appreciate it. Yeah, sorry for getting heated. I just, I really hope I'm hitting home to people here. Senile senator having mini stroke gets to create new law after screwing up previous farm bill. Yeah, I hate all politics. I just refuse to talk about any specific one. Buying opportunity absolutely gives me more time to buy more low, Nikki says. Fallon, I would love Tilray to acquire Rubicon. Most consistent high terp, high THC. Oh, you got to check out Redican then. They blow them out of the water. I would, yeah. If someone handed me a bag of Rubicon for half price, or sorry, for free, and I could get Tilray's Redican for half off, I'd buy Redican. I'd pay the half than the free Rubicon, to be completely honest with you. And no one, as far as I'm concerned, no one gives a damn about organic. Maybe in like the food industry, but dude, most people are hitting a bong and dab rigs and like doing hash tokes off a cigarette. And you think they're worried about organic, huh? Okay. Again, this igloo that I have for sale in the Sahara Desert, $1 million. It's yours if you want it. All right. Big investor, love it. Broken Coast, yeah, nobody competes. No, it's Redican. Redican. That's all you need to know. Redican is the crown jewel. It's the best brand in the industry, hands down. Out of any U.S. name, international, Canadian, Redican is the best brand in Canada and the world, ever, hands down. And it will continue to be, guaranteed. I bought 1995 around 49 cents, sold at 215, now debating when to buy again. I would say you're sitting pretty. Thank you so much, Rod. You bet. Held my canopy. Yeah, I've got a very small canopy position. That's by design. Lobbyists aren't running enough cash into his hand in such a cash-rich industry. Send it campaign donation. We might get some progress faster. Yeah, I mean, again, it's just going to happen when the big pharma, alcohol, and tobacco industries are ready, and these, you know, when the government's damn well ready, you could have 99% of the American citizens wanting it, and they still wouldn't do it. Everything is about to collapse. In my opinion, the chart is Chuz, give me $25. We are down here. It's our government, not us. No, I love all y'all, but I can't stand your government. I don't even like my own government. But the only reason why I started to like Canada a little bit is because they legalized cannabis, and it was over 7 years ago. Like almost a decade, folks. Like, I wish we could fire every government official in the U.S. Like, obviously, there's some good ones, like Earl Blumenauer or whatever. But what did you really do, right? Nothing. Fire them all and start over. Like, we could employ cats and dogs at this point in Congress, and I'm pretty sure they would do more. What is the event that the administrator is waiting on before announcing rescheduling? This was one of Anthony's tweets recently. I don't care, to be honest, what he has to say. Moron, as far as I'm concerned. Everyone in the government just cracks open a canopy drink and let the good times roll. Yeah, maybe that'll knock some sense into their peanut-sized brains. BFF, the only stock green on my portfolio. Yeah, I'm up crazy amount on BFF. Those bearish triple thunders on crypto today give hope. Yeah, it's yeah, I think and Bitcoin just hit a CME gap as well. I think 91,000. Well, bear crosses on XRP weekly. Yeah, so we had the death cross on XRP. We had the weekly EMA 12 and 26 bear cross and the bearish triple thunder crossovers. I think that the bottom is getting close. And then once crypto tops out, watch for MJ to be pumped. They're going to pump the, ever-loving hell out of it. Reverse split after the dilute, just a dilution is sick. Yeah, I don't know what you mean. We're not doing a reverse split. And the dilution was an ATM, and it wasn't even that big of a tap of the ATM, to be completely honest with you. And they said it was going to be for accretive acquisitions. It's different. When you got 1.5 million in net income, which means at the end of the day, your operations are making money, right? So you don't need to dilute to keep the lights on. That's the most important factor, okay? There's a lot of companies, like look at AYR. They couldn't even keep the lights on. They had to go into CCAA. How many other companies went into CCAA in bankruptcy proceedings? Would you rather that? Would you rather lose all your money and have no chance of ever getting it back? Or would you rather $50 million dilution and a little bit more downside, and then 5 to 10 years you're so filthy stinking rich that your whole family has generational wealth? What would you rather? Again, put down the bong, study the finance world, for like more than 2 hours, all this stuff starts to make a little bit more sense. Like, I'm not the guy that you come to for fluff and clickbait and, telling everybody what they want to hear. I'm telling you what you need to hear, and people need to put down the goddamn bong and do some research in the finance world. This is not new. This is not surprising. This is very, very expected. And again, I just see a lot of emotions coming through and not a whole lot of logic, right? We need to stop thinking. I know it's difficult, right? But it's only money. Like, you can't take it with you when you go. So, just be humble. Be thankful that you even have money to invest. Some people don't even have money at all. We really do. Maybe I'll just start doing some podcasts on being grateful. Would be awesome to hold $1. Have a great night, man. You too, Justin. Thanks for coming on tonight. You bet. My pleasure. Just some a-hole. Not you, Justin. This is what the guy's display name is. Handle. I don't think so. Gary is still allowed to sell hemp drinks in legalized states like New York. So that's what I was thinking, but I don't think they can, right? Because the NASDAQ goes by federal laws, not state laws. So I think they would have to stop selling in all states unless they want to sacrifice their NASDAQ listing. I'm like 99% sure now that I think about it. Or is it the federal ban supersede? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does. 60 cents is a great price to enter again. I'll wait for that price. Yeah, well, nothing's a guarantee, so I wouldn't bank on it, but plan on it, but don't bank on it. What I always like to do is just scale in, right? If it's at $1 now, and you're like, I'm going to put another $2,000 in, I don't understand why everybody's like, well, when's the best place? What's the best time and price to deploy the 2,000? Well, you do know that you can buy like 500 now, and then set a buy order, a limit buy, which means it'll buy when you're not even around the computer. So you could do one at 1, you could do one at 90, you could do one at 80, one at 70, and then one at 500, 200, 2,000. Island boy. Don't forget possible partnerships. Yeah, again, I don't think there's going to be any partnerships. Like he said, Erwin Simon, upon rescheduling, upon reform, maybe we do a deal with a pharma company. Like Kevin O'Leary said, he wanted to invest in I think it was Vermont. He wanted to invest in an operator there. And his lawyer told me, you effing crazy? This is a Schedule 1 substance. And he's like, oh, okay, never mind. So they can't even touch it, folks. They can't even come within a 10-foot pole, 1,000-foot pole. Right? Once it's rescheduled, then the partnerships will come in. Then the big, Fortune 500 companies will come in. They have fiduciary duties, shareholders to adhere to. I'm just accumulating more and more while the U.S. government figures it out. Yep. But again, you have to think, why not buy the Canadian companies? I'm heavy in the Canadian companies because Canada's growing leaps and bounds. Look at Oxley. They're profitable and they're growing, I forget, one of their profitability metrics was like 500% increase. I think it was it might have been net income or something, but 500% increase just in Canada, and they're profitable, and they don't have any operators, so they're not affected by U.S. tariffs, they're not affected by the hemp ban, they're not in the international yet, but that's a lot of growth. They can get into international, right? And then look at Tilray. They have more, what was it, 39 billion in the European market, total addressable, and contribution for the revenue. So they're making more money in Europe than they are Canada and the U.S. What does that tell you? It's probably actually a good thing for Tilray the longer that the U.S. goes without, because they get to dominate the world. Right? And then whenever the U.S. opens it up, they're going to come in and just eat their lunch, and they're going to acquire another producer probably. They're going to, they have the MedMen IP, so they're going to spin up all these stores and franchise it like he said he wanted to do, and send everybody home with that little red bag, right? It's like a little McDonald's house. Only thing worrying in the chart is the gap left at 65 cents. Yeah, well, the only way it's worrying is if it worries you, if you let it worry you. You can change your mindset and say, holy shit, I get a chance to buy at 65 cents again? Again, if they weren't net income positive, if they were diluting and they had all this debt, which they weren't knocking down, which they are, they had $100 million down to the debt. And he said he's not really uncomfortable with the amount of debt that they have, and he doesn't mind having some debt, right? So it's all about managing the debt, and they just posted, no, if they were super in the negative for net income, that'd be problematic. And if they were diluting, that'd be problematic. Drop to 65 cents could be detrimental, right? But the fact that it dropped to 35 cents and didn't like cease to exist shows you how resilient this stock is. And if that didn't screw it over, if the NASDAQ listing warning didn't screw it over, what the hell is gonna? If all this hemp ban and all this other crap, like, at this point, it's almost like I said, like Armageddon. Like, you would need an asteroid to hit the Earth to ruin Tilray. Like, what else is gonna ruin it, right? All this oversupply issues in Canada didn't knock it down, right? It just keeps getting knocked down and get back up again. So I hope this is making sense and enlightening people. I have 45,000 shares and was selling calls to offset my loss. Yeah, see, I love that. I love using options as a hedging and insurance policy. But to just only buy calls and options and to, like, buying is one thing. Selling is a whole other thing, and money for nothing, all that good stuff, right? But buying calls, you're basically going into the highest risk sector and then gambling. That's the gambling sector. Investing in stocks is not really gambling. It's an educated speculative guess. And the more research you do, the better you are. The more odds you have of succeeding. And then you diversify and you try to find the unicorns, right? In the sectors, in the new burgeoning emerging markets and sectors. But if you get into options, you have time now that you need to factor in. So if you're not right, if you're right on the direction, right, up, down, sideways, if you're right on the direction, but wrong on the time, you lose it all. Risk of total loss. That's gambling. That's the casino of the stock market. So if you want to just do that and like all this leverage and stuff, like I was doing a little bit of leverage trading and futures trading with crypto on BTCC, not for me. Like, it's so rigged how all these fees and if you hold it for longer, the fees go up, and the more the price goes up, the fees get bigger. It's so rigged. Like, you can make money, but it's hard enough trading spot, like regular without leverage, and then factoring in leverage and futures trading and all these fees. It's like, holy crap. Like, it's really, really hard. And it's hard enough just to figure out if it's going to go up, down, or sideways, let alone factoring in leverage and fees and time, right? So, but it was a cool experience, right? It's fun to get in, but like, I'm not even really a big fan of trading, right? Like, I don't need to make any money any day off trading. Like, I've got enough money that I don't need any more money, right? Like, and like, I bought XRP like a shut ton at like 40 cents, and it's now worth $2.20. Like, that alone is probably I'll never have to work again unless I choose to, but I'm not going to not work, right? But yeah, like, for me, like, I don't like being like, I'm an hour, 12 minutes. I don't mind being on here for an hour and 12 minutes, but you know what? As soon as I'm done this, I can't wait to get off the computer. So like, if you're a day trader, you're on the computer nonstop. I don't want to be a slave to the computer. Like, I don't want to be, it's just not for me. I like doing a little bit of trading and stuff like that. It's fun, but I can't sacrifice my time, and my, like, just sucks being stuck on a computer all the time. I'm already on it enough. So just imagine running a community with like 100 people, running a YouTube channel, running an investment community, running an algo service that I built myself. It took me like 3 years to build. I've got 2 Airbnbs, short-term rentals. I got 2 long-term rentals that I manage with long-term tenants. I have my own condo, things that come up there. I have a daughter who's almost 2. I have a partner. I have friends and family and a life, and you know, it's like, holy crap, that adds up. All right, gonna end it there. Waiting for the next jump. yeah. So just be cautious, like on the options. All I gotta say is because, like, especially when you're down 90 or 80 or 90+% from all-time highs on these names, like, why not just buy and hold, right? Like, the data shows most people win by buying and holding. So that, in my opinion, is the way to go. Yeah, he said it himself. Need rescheduling. I have long call buys on Tilray. I needed to go up. Pack my bags, loaded up my boat when many thousands under 50 cents. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Oh, this one came out of nowhere. What? Where did all these questions come from? I must have not scrolled down enough. I'm crying, laughing, put down the bongs. Well, it's true, man. Like, I was one of them, right? Like, my friend would come over and he'd be like, let's do this dab. Like, let's do like a snake, you know? Like, how many inches should we make this snake? And he did like a 6-inch dab. A snake dab. In one toke. I was like, oh my God. What is the world coming to? And you know that people are doing worse than that. Tucker Carlson just did an interview about MJ being bad. What a tool. Yeah, okay. Maybe if it was about alcohol, he must have meant alcohol. I'm holding my 14,000 shares long term. I recently got back in with a 130 average. I'm down, obviously, so far out of the game. Tilray will come back around. No biggie. I agree. Nikki says yes. Oh, I don't care if it does drop. My bags are packed, loaded at 50 cents, many thousands. Yep. I have long highs, needed calls. I've needed to go up. Yeah, he said it. Need rescheduling. I read those. Wow, you're busy. I appreciate you and your channel. Thank you. My pleasure. I just want people to go look at how much BlackRock and Vanguard own in Tilray. Yeah, just take a look at that. And fun fact, XRP ETFs from a very small firm called Canary Capital that I'm sure no one in this fucking... not a single person on this stream knows who they were before, like, 6 months ago. Definitely no more than a year. And I would argue that probably 99% of you, if not 100%, still don't know who they are. And anyways... They're just this little tiny firm called Canary Capital launched an XRP ETF, and it beat the inflows for BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF on day one. Let that sink in for a minute. And then the next time someone tells you that it's a shit coin, never listen to the thing they ever say again. And the next time someone says, oh, can't figure out how Tilray has any value and why everybody likes it, it's garbage, never listen to another word. I would just delete them and block them and never listen to them ever again, because they're obviously a complete moron. Just people, it's not even that they're, it's just talking your book, right? You know that they own Bitcoin, right? They just don't own any XRP and they want their Bitcoin to go up. Or they own these other operators in the US and they don't own Tilray and they want their other names to go up, right? So they're just disingenuous, terrible humans, right? It's what it is, probably. I suggest, yep. All right, I think that's it. I scrolled down enough and I'm at the end here. 82 viewers still, wow. Really, and that's another thing, right? Like, if you got 82 people viewing this when, like, nobody cares right now about the MJ sector. No one's even caring about the stock market right now and the crypto market right now. And we got 82 viewers on a Tilray video when things aren't even popular. That tells you that right there that this isn't an ordinary company, right? There's a lot of eyeballs in this company. And the same thing, it reminds me of, like, Tesla. It reminds me of a lot of the big tech companies, but yes, especially Tesla. Like, I remember all the mainstream media. Oh, Toyota makes more cars in a month than Tesla makes in a year, and they're never profitable, and they'll never be profitable. But you know what they're doing, right? They're buying Tesla so that they keep the price low, and they're buying it and trying to scare all you guys off and gals, right? But I was loading up the boat in 2018, and now look, right? It's one of the best investments ever. And I do think that Tilray will be a similar story percentage-wise. It's not going to be anywhere close to the market cap of Tesla. But percentage-wise, there's life-changing wealth to be had. All right. Hope everyone has a fantastic evening. Always fun hanging out. It's Rod with POW Group. Thanks again for joining us in the pursuit of wealth, and we'll see you on the next one.